Hello, church family. Recently I've been thinking about some of my early experiences in ministry. I was thinking about that first church that I served right out of college, First Baptist Church of Flora, Mississippi. I was the interim music minister. Now, I had never really been a music minister. I was a music major in college, but I remember the difference of standing before that congregation for the first time with the hymnal in one hand and in my right hand and asking them, sing along with us, visibly just shaking as I was trying to direct the congregation in just singing some simple hymns. As time has gone on, I still get those butterflies most Sunday mornings. To some degree or another, I still feel that sense of nervousness and this sense of awe that God has called me to this kind of ministry, this kind of responsibility. But as time has gone on, I've gotten used to it. I've learned to control that. I don't worry about it so much. It doesn't become debilitating for me. My hunch is that we're in a similar situation as a church throughout this whole pandemic. Early on, we were asking a lot of questions. What do we do? What's the right thing? And we were all very diligent about, these are what's being suggested. So we're going to follow everything as closely as we can. And as time has gone on, we're getting maybe a little more comfortable. And maybe we're letting some of those things slide a little bit. And we're not taking the best precautions, not following all the rules. So I just wanted to ask you, just as your pastor, please help us out. As you come to, for those of you that are able to, for those coming to worship in person, just please remember the guidelines that we've set aside, that we've set out for our community. The whole reason we've done this is to keep the most people safe, to make the safest environment possible for us to be able to gather in person. Now, these guidelines, none of them are perfect. They're all partial. So we have to think of it kind of like combination therapy. See, combination therapy says if you do any of these one things, it's going to fall short. But when you add them all together, it's a pretty good recipe for a good way going forward. So here's what we're reminding you of. This combination therapy, these guidelines include hygiene. Wash your hands regularly. That's pretty simple. Don't touch your face or your eyes, your nose, your mouth. That's pretty simple stuff. And so when you come in, we have hand sanitizer stations. Be sure that you're taking advantage of that every time you come into the building, and throughout your time here at First Baptist, keep your hands as clean as possible. Screening. You can do this for yourself at home. We haven't had screeners at the door, but you know some of the symptoms. Those have been well publicized. If you're running a fever, if you have a sore throat, a cough, trouble breathing, if you've had a change in taste or smell, all of these are symptoms of this COVID-19 virus. So if you have any symptoms at all, and there's any question in your mind, we're asking just stay home. It's okay. We are providing our broadcast services. We're providing our worship services online so that you can continue to engage. But we would ask if you have any symptoms, please stay home. Physical distancing. The recommendation still is 6 feet apart is the best idea. And so we're asking as people come in, as they're gathering together, as they come into the same space as one another, keep 6 feet apart. As you're sitting in the pews, as you're sitting in the chairs in Morgan Hall, please keep 6 feet apart at all times from those people that are not in your household. That will really help us out. The other thing is face coverings, masks. We have asked that everybody please wear a mask. We know that there are a few exceptions to that, and so we're flexible with that. We understand if there is a reason that you cannot wear a mask, but for the rest of us, please wear a mask every time that you're in the building, and please wear it for the whole length of time that you're in the building. Anytime you're around other people, we would ask that you please have a mask on. That means even throughout the service. Instead of just sitting down and taking that off, if you would, the best practice is to leave that on throughout the entirety of your time within the building and the time that you are interacting with others. If you could help us out with that, that would be greatly appreciated. And the final thing is we're going to have this sense of a culture change, that we're thinking about other people. We're putting our neighbors first. We're putting the most vulnerable folks first. And so we are asking that we really take that love of God and love of neighbor and make it real in these moments by trying to follow these guidelines. We remind you as at any time, if you don't feel safe, that's fine. Continue to worship at home. Continue to join us. Thank you for continuing to support us. And then we're asking this one thing as well. If at some point you have come to an activity here, whether it be a small group, whether it be a worship service, and you later find that you have been exposed to COVID-19, or more importantly, if you have tested positive to COVID-19, please let me know. You can call the church, call me directly, and let me know that. We will not share that information with anybody, but there's also some protocols that we will need to put in place as a result. So if you could help us in that, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for all that you mean to us and for the ways that you continue to support First Baptist during this unusual time. And we look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Take care.